So I'd like to introduce Andrew Taban. Why don't you come on up, and you'll have 5 minutes to go ahead and introduce yourself.
So, can everyone hear me okay? Okay. So, hello everyone. Before I begin, I would like to thank the Canyon Country Advisory Committee for hosting this event and giving everyone the opportunity to have a meet and greet with both of us. I'm sure many of you are wondering, as I've been told, is why is a 19-year-old running for the Hart District School Board? Well, I'm here to address that for you. So, the reason I'm running is because I believe there's been a disconnect between the board and its stakeholders, being the students, parents, teachers, and community members, and I would like to begin initiating to make that connection. Now, I realize as a district, we face many challenges, such as completing our bond programs that have been promised to the public, implementation of Common Core, and continue to keeping our quality of education while closing the achievement gap between our students. I know that we can do it together as a board, and I know that I'm capable of serving to the board to achieve these goals. I have been highly involved in my high school as well as education itself as a whole. I'm a resident of the Santa Clarita Valley who was capable of putting on the Sierra Vista Junior High School promotion ceremony when we were unfortunately affected by budget cuts. I have firsthand experience volunteering in our community and educating students in the English Second Language Development programs, firsthand experience with our special needs population, and I was involved in multiple extracurricular activities in high school, as well as was able to participate in drafting bills in Sacramento to better our education system. I truly believe I have the passion, dedication, work ethic, and commitment to serve the public and bring a fresh perspective to the Hart District School Board. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Julie Olson. And my question for you, Andrew, is can you tell us, please, what are your top priority issues that you'd like to see and affect change for in the Hart District?
So some of the top priority issues that I have is I'd like to see a better and more meaningful engagement with all of the stakeholders of our district, and I'd also like to see transparency, or I should say better transparency in our district, to avoid any such violations of the Brown Act that have previously occurred in our district.
That's really short. Hi, I'm Stacy Fortner, and my question for you, Andrew, is would you turn away a parent or student expressing interest in being appointed to a district advisory council if they didn't agree with your views or political positions?
Absolutely not. The purpose of a DAC representative is to, I believe, bridge a gap between the students and parents as our stakeholders, and they are supposed to come back and speak with the board members in regards to what the public has felt is a need in our district. And it's not necessarily meant to represent the board members' views or their beliefs.
How is your young age a benefit for the board and district stakeholders?
I believe my age is a benefit because I'm a product of the Hart District. I have engaged with students, teachers, and parents. I have been inside the schools, and I know what's going on with them. Not to mention my previous experience with the school and other community events, I would say, I believe not only helps me, but will definitely be an assistance to the board. And I believe it's good to be very in touch with our youth and be one of the most recent graduates to sit on the board.
Hi, I'm Michelle Jenkins. I serve on the COC Board of Trustees. And you said something that kind of is alarming to me. You allege that there's been violations of the Brown Act by the Hart Board. That's a very serious accusation. And I would like to ask you about that.
A couple of years ago, the DA cited the Hart District School Board in violation of the Brown Act when they were doing secret ballots to appoint a board member to the Hart District School Board.
What are your thoughts on Common Core in general, and how the Hart District is implementing it?
My thoughts on Common Core after meeting with our Assistant Superintendent, Mike Coolman, is it has been on paper, it seems to be a very good system as a child progresses throughout the years, you add an additional challenge to that, to the education, and they're, as very common, supposed to meet certain criteria as they go on throughout the year. The goal of Common Core, as I've seen, is it is to engage a student or create the student to become a critical thinker, which is now needed since 5 years down the line, we are not sure as to what job opportunities will be available or technology. In regards to the district implementing it, they actually started a year earlier than they were mandated to do so. And they have done, as far as I've seen, well, they've been working hard to implement it and working with teachers.
This is a question for you and any other candidates or even some of the city board members. Would you people be receptive to our school system adopting a procedure where all graduating students or all students that go through our school system will have been trained in CPR before they leave? We have a daughter in Washington State that says the whole state of Washington requires this. I think this state should require it, but they haven't yet. Perhaps the Hart District could be the forerunner. And just think, if you were camping up in the mountains or you're at the beach or wherever you may be, if you needed CPR, somebody is nearby that has that talent. And I would like to see our school system interested, and I'd like to know where you would stand on that.
I personally would think that is actually an excellent thing to have for any emergency issues. We are required to take health classes, and I think that would be a very good section to have in it. Of course, it would need to be voted on the board, and it would have to be worked into a budget to see if we have to hire someone, get any medical, Henry Mayo to come in or anything like that. So I do personally believe it is an excellent idea, but it would have to be discussed with the board and with the chief financial officer.
Sue Solomon, member of the Newhall School Board. Would you please share your ideas on how you would improve and strengthen articulation between the high school district and the elementary and college districts?
Yes, so what I have been hearing also from another member of the Newhall School Board is what we're seeing is students from elementary through through elementary school, they've been learning a process about their education for many years, and then when you enter the Hart School Board, one of the only district to carry junior high school and high school, is we are beginning to tell them that, well, what you've learned all these years was incorrect and there's a new system of learning. So what I think the district needs to do is work with these districts and find a way where we can reach common ground into seeing how can we work together with when they're transferring out of the elementary schools into working and integrating the same type of teaching methods into our junior high school and high schools.
Would you please explain your understanding of the Hart system budget, where the money comes from, and how it's spent?
So my best understanding after meeting with our chief financial officer is that we, of course, get our money from our taxes as well as we gain our developer fees through construction in our city and in our district. Now, we have so far approximately $200 million budget as of this year, and most of that is taken up for general funds, and of course we have our restricted funds. And as we also have from Measure SA $300 million to update our facilities and continue or attempt to continue building Castaic High School.
Are you aware what portion of your budget is taken up by personnel costs?
I believe last time I spoke with the CFO, she estimated approximately about $180 million.
So as a percentage of the budget, that's a lot.
Yes.
Okay.
What leadership experience are you going to bring to the school board district and to the stakeholders as a group?
In regards to leadership, I believe that I have held multiple leaderships in our high school programs, such as clubs, the arts, sports, the regional occupational programs I've held in. I have continued to be leading in our special needs special needs programs throughout the city, and I was capable of going to Sacramento to help make legislation to better our school systems.
You say you want to engage more than the status quo, the people who seem to be, who usually show up at the district board meetings when I've been there. Do you have any ideas or any thoughts? And are you planning to try to engage students?
Absolutely.
And how are you thinking about doing that? So more of them will participate.
More student participate? Okay.
Yes.
So my belief is students are a complete stakeholder of our district, since everything that we do affects these students. So my belief is, as a board member, we need to go into these schools. As many times as we've seen, board members come and visit these schools, but I have never once seen engagement between a board member or staff and a student. It is constantly between administration. So what we need to do is work with these students, find out what they would like to see in the education system, what is working. Because as a board member, you sit on the board, but you're not in these classrooms and knowing what policies you're making and how it's influencing these students or how it's affecting them.
Andrew, as a product of the Hart District, I just want to say that we're extremely proud of you tonight and of your efforts in going forward and running for this board position. Usually when somebody wants to throw their hat in the ring, there's a trigger that helps them make that decision. What was that trigger for you? And I already know that you're a very passionate person. I can tell just by your answers tonight and your willingness to participate in this process. But what I really want to know is what was that trigger point for you, and what sparked this passion and this interest in moving forward in this campaign?
Throughout the Hart District, as some people know, I've approached the board on multiple issues, and I've been very active in communicating with our schools. What you begin to see as a student is when you approach the board or administration or anything, there is this complete disconnect that I believe that needs to be removed. And the administration, the board, needs to have a connection with these students. And as a person who was not able to see that, I think there needs to be some change going on in our district. And otherwise, I truly love Santa Clarita, and I want to see the best happen in our education system. So.
Hi, Julie Olson again. Andrew, I wonder if you could tell us, for those that don't know, you have been spoken about in social media and other places as being a one-issue candidate, because many people came to know you for being courageous and going to the board and speaking to them about what you believed was a delay in their implementation of the Fair Education Act. Can you tell us a little bit about how it made you feel when you experienced further delays after you approached them about this issue, and anything else that you'd like to share with anyone who would accuse you of being a one-issue candidate?
Yeah. So the Fair Education Act is something I approached the board for before, but it is possibly my most public known issue that I have done, but with working in the schools, I mean, you can ask some of the teachers themselves that I have constantly been working to improve our schools, working with teachers, finding a way to better. A good example would be the mathematics department of Canyon High School. I would sit with the principal, finding a way to make a better system. I've met with Robert Chalano, our former superintendent, before, in a way to better our classrooms. And in regards to fair, I'm sorry, could you repeat your question? That was for fair.
How did it make you feel when you approached the board, and despite bringing up that issue, it continues, it appears to me and others, to not be fully implemented as of yet?
It seems very disappointing that the Hart School Board would not be in compliance with the law that was passed in 2012 when I brought it up, and for a student to bring it up, I think, and for it not to continue to go further, it's very, it's disappointing to see a school board who is meant to serve the students and the public to not work with one-on-one with them.
So now I'm going to put on my PTA parent involvement hat. And so...
You're very important to us.
Thank you. There is a change in parent involvement when it comes to secondary schools on how they can participate, opportunity is less, for volunteering in the classrooms, for helping teachers. It's primarily a focus around booster clubs. But parent involvement, family engagement is much more than that. Yeah. And so how do you foresee increasing opportunities for family engagement in the secondary schools? And would you support the idea of promoting more PTAs in junior high and high schools?
So in regards to bringing parent involvement, I believe that, for example, like when we have open houses and all that, I believe that we need to make this available for parents to be involved because family is extremely important to a child and benefiting their education. So with that, we need to find a way to work with these parents as well as the schools to find a way that we can integrate the parents more into them. So I can't say necessarily that this is directly a board decision, but I can say that I believe in the best efforts that I could do is work with the board as well as the schools to find a way we can bring the parents back into our schools and working with us.
I'm Lorraine King. Andrew, tell us about Castaic High School, the building of it, and the fact that enrollment in the Castaic area is dropping, and how will that affect the final result of Castaic High School?
So in regards to Castaic High School, as far as I'm concerned, it was supposed to be finished by the end of this year, the layout. But we have an estimated enrollment of 2,600 into the district, but that was made in 2007. So unfortunately, as of now, the district actually does not have a on-schedule or fully able to estimate how many students are going to be entering the district. So my biggest concern is, are we going to actually have enough students to even open up the Castaic High School? So I believe that we need to continue investigating to see how Castaic patterns are working. Are we going to actually have enough students?
Thank you for coming down tonight. I'm Steve from Saugus. I just wanted to ask you about the California Voting Rights Act. This is the first election that we've had in Santa Clarita Valley using the changes that were implemented by the Hart Board. I'd like to know what you think of the districting process, whether you feel that there was polarized voting in the Hart district, and whether you claim any special status under the California Voting Rights Act.
In regards to the California Voters' Rights Act, I do believe when the bill was made, it was made with the best intention to give a better representation to our minorities. But as a hopeful soon-to-be school board member, I personally don't, my personal beliefs do not matter on the California Voters' Rights Act. As a school board member, it is my job and duty to uphold the laws that have been given to the district. If I personally believe against it, I can fly to Sacramento and speak to a committee in regards to it, but personally as a school board member, it is my duty to uphold the law. And in regards to claiming any specific, no, I identify as an American, and my parents are from Armenia and Iran.
Well, I'll just follow up with that then. I was concerned about the recent situation with the Chief Operating Officer, Ben Rodriguez, and I was unable to mesh the story that was in the press regarding his resignation, with the compensation package that he was given for leaving. And I wanted to get your feedback on what you think happened there. I mean, it seems to me that something is wrong and that we, as the citizens of the Hart District, are not getting the full and complete story about what's going on. And I want to know what is really going on in that situation.
Is that for Steve or Andy?
Well, let's give it to Andy, because he's not a board member right now. He can give us his honest opinion.
So in regards to Ben Rodriguez, I do think it was a very big loss for the district. I believe he was actually keeping us on track and bringing out the honesty in this district. What I find, I'm as curious as you are as to how this 9-month came out. But as far as I was told, it's a personnel issue and it's not able to be released to the public. But I can agree with you that I am extremely curious as to how this negotiation or whichever ended up working out. So unfortunately, I can't give a full how it worked.
Andrew, as a board member, you'll be in closed session discussing many subjects that is confidential.
Yes.
How will you handle yourself when you have people asking you, for example, what happened with Mr. Rodriguez? And now you may know something that cannot be told to the public. How will you handle that?
Well, I've been told I'm a very good secret holder. Many times I used to be a mandated reporter with certain things and all of this, and many times I have been told things in confidence. And for me, it's not that hard. If it's confidential, and that's how it has to remain.
Susan Ostrom. And Mr. Taban, I like to consider you as grown up as anyone seeking a position like this. I would like you to just speak to the amount of experience that you've had attending meetings at the Hart district level.
I have been attending board meetings for almost 2 years now, and yes, they are a lot more fun than most people think. And as a person who is running for the school board, I think it's very important for those who would like to remain involved in the district to be in these board meetings also. These are extremely important. These are who affects your children, nieces, nephews, and overall, after they graduate, they become community members and they affect you as well. So I think it's very important for everyone to attend board meetings, and yeah, I've been going for about 2 years, and they're wonderful. Again, thank you all for coming out today to hear our views on everything. I believe my closing statement can be, if you are ready for a board member who is capable and willing to engage with the students, community, parents, and teachers, I believe you know who to vote for. If you are ready for a board member who is beyond dedicated and has a big passion for this community, I believe you know who to vote for. I would like to see multiple change go on in this district, as I've shared with you today, and I'm willing to encourage everyone to partake in the change to go on in the district. If you are willing to see transparency in our district, again, you know who to vote for. Mine is going to be very short and sweet. Again, I'd like to thank you all for coming out here today, and I hope you're capable of making your decision of who to vote for. Thank you.